Hey everybody, is this working? Yep, that's working. So how's everybody today? I'm just talking to myself because there's nobody watching. But maybe someone will watch this later. So how are you watching this later? I don't know. You'll have to put it in the chat. I got a cool new little set of things today. I got these things. Nylon spludgers. Now I don't have to use my fingernail clippers like an animal unless I have to, in which case I will anyway. Except I don't know where the hell they went. Here's one. But you never know, they can come in handy still. But so the spludgers come with this. It's got a little pokey guy for poking stuff, and then it's got like a little hook for hooking stuff. I don't know how useful that is. This one's got a really flat blade for taking the screen off a cell phone, so I don't have much use for that. It's got a smaller blade here. I can use it to kind of pry something, I guess. And then I like this one. It's a little hook that's good for picking your teeth and also prying things. And this has like a differently angled flat. Anyway, we'll try those out as needed. See how they go. I'm still talking to myself, so I thought I'd talk about Longhaul. Someone had asked me how you get the bed of the truck straight. The short answer is you don't, but I can get it pretty close. And then I was fiddling around with these Iron Factory Heroes of the DEC, the Decepticon Justice Division homages in legend scale. Pretty cool set. So I thought I'd demonstrate those a little bit since Longhaul here isn't much to talk about. So we'll just focus on getting them into truck mode and discussing how to get that to line up as much as possible. It has its flaws. But what we do is I like to lower that down and pull out the thingamajigs and just rotate them out of the way. Bring the wheels, untab and bring the wheels forward because they kind of tab in right there. And then you got to bring the arms down like this. You basically want this screw to point towards the wheels, otherwise it doesn't fit right. And then you can lower that whole armature down, rotate this, and get it ready to go. Do the same thing over here. So that's ready to go. And then, you can turn his head around. Now it doesn't look like a robot anymore. And then flip these things up and slide them. Kind of clever design. I like that idea, where there's like a little sliding pin there, and then it folds over. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. And then I'll go ahead and do the legs just to get them out of the way, but I like to go one notch forward with that first. And we'll put the feet away and face these towards each other and tab them together. And then put these on the sides. And then now we can get the... So I like to peg the hands in first onto these pegs. And then line these up. Oh yeah, the wheels tab in so you can make them stable instead of flopping all over the place. There we go. Go ahead and get those done. All right. So then this plugs in here, and there's a tab here that tabs in. And so we do the same thing on the other side. And then, and only then, do I raise the cab up and plug it onto these like missiles. I really gotta find a better webcam. This one just doesn't seem HD. But maybe it's just the nature of live streaming too. But I plug these in. Now, with these plugged in, it pulls on these, so now they like to just kind of float and not be tabbed. Which is why the short answer to how do you get the truck bed straight is you don't. It's just a design flaw. These don't go far enough in to be plugged in here and plugged in here, but you can kind of cheat it. You can kind of get it in there, but you can see it pulls on this piece a little bit. It bends in that direction, or comes untabbed. But once you have all that in place, then you can just tab this part in and you're done. But that's a short answer. You really can't. It's not quite designed properly. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I always liked Longhaul, the movie Longhaul's robot mode. It's kind of cool. In a lot of ways, maybe the most similar to the original G1 look. Other than him having like a weird monster face. So, with your forbearance, my one viewer. Oh, I've got 3. Whew. Wow. Maybe this is what I get for doing it at like 5:30 Eastern, because everyone's still like doing stuff. Oh well. And I could do it at like 9 p.m., but that would be tedious for me. So we'll talk about these little DJD, but what they call the DEC. Here's Iron Factory. Heroes of the Spirits. Spirits of the DEC. Whatever they decided that stood for. Here's the leader. It's his name is Tarn in the comic books. It's like the only name I know. So, hey, if you know the name of any of these guys in the comic books, you just shout them out as I go along. But we'll transform Tarn into a robot, a robot. I'll do robot mode for all of them, and then see if I can remember how to reassemble them, because I just disassembled them the other day, so maybe I'll remember. But these arms untab. And these wheels, these treads flip around. Tread flips around. And we can unfold the legs off the top. Just unfold the whole leg and unfold the feet. You can flip up his little knee. It's funny how many robots, cool looking, robot things end up looking like they're wearing like thigh-high boots. Go-go boots. Doesn't quite make sense. But I like to lower this a little bit to free these up, because you want to free up these 2 tread pieces so that they're open. The way this guy comes, these swing arms are like terrifyingly skinny. These are pretty skinny, but they're not as skinny as the original ones. So when you buy these 2 come in a set. Where's the other guy? These 2 come in a set along with what they call the statue, but the extra combiner pieces. And that includes repair pieces to fix this guy's shoulders. So I did that at some point. But it goes into there, and then this can close back down. I feel like my focal point is off. Also, his crotch likes to fall off on me, so do with that as you will. Part of my problem is I should do these little gun covers so they're out of the way first. And you splay these out, because apparently you do. Whatever. And then we can close this down. And then close the chest piece down. And now we got their leader, Tarn. Tarn Nation. This one's discombobulated. So I guess we'll leave them in robot mode for a minute so we can do like a show off all the robot modes all at once. That's Tarn. The second set that came out, let me fix the focus while I'm thinking of it. Because I don't want my 3 whole viewers to be incommoded by bad focus. Maybe that's better. Let's see. Too close. Too far. I don't know. So this guy obviously turns into kind of a sniper rifle. It's got kind of a scope on top and whatnot. Elephants. Elephants is whatnot. But you can detach this gun from here. This ends up being his gun. Oh, Tarn has like a, you know, Tarn has a gun. There you go. So then we can spread out these arms, untab them from this post. I really hate this focus. What's going on, man? Here, let's just put it where I want it and then see what we can get a focus on it. No. Yes, no. It's 0. I can bring it closer, or can I not? Anyway. Ugh. Anyway, I hate this camera. So we can just spread the arms out like that. In a lot of ways, this guy is one of the more complicated ones. But so you separate, untab his legs, being careful not to rip them apart or anything. And then you take this whole assembly and you throw it towards the back. And we'll just go ahead and get the legs sorted out. So we rotate at the top of the mid-thigh 180 degrees. It's hideously out of focus still. Like, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to get the focus I want. It doesn't look bad. What do you guys think? Turns out that's like 25. Interesting. Anyway, I can't get too close to the camera. They have a really nice paint job. Like, this is a gold sparkly paint. It doesn't really come across on my piece of shit camera, but anyway. So we rotate it at the top of the mid-thigh, and then we rotate the lower legs around. If I can. There we go. And then we can adjust his arms to be correct. And his hands. And they all come with a nice little assortment of, like, hands that are posed, so you can swap out the hands. I'm not going to get into that though, because all I care about is transformation. I don't care about replacing parts. So now we'll take care of this backpack. We'll go ahead and flip his head out, and then this, I remember, comes down. It rotates somewhere. Here we go. It rotates here, and then these separate and kind of rotate outward. They end up over his shoulder. And then this, how does this go? I like this. Like that. And then these lower down. You can give him his gun. And there's whatever the hell this guy's name is. Turns into a gun. This guy turns into an electric chair. And that's just fun. Have a robot turn into an electric chair. Whoa, we're up to 6 viewers. Anyone say anything important? And Snipey. So how your day doing, man? What's with the gloves, if you don't mind me asking? And nice. It's to keep the oils on my hands off of the Transformers. I don't know. I wear the gloves all the time when I'm shooting, so that I can, like, hold a figure, you know, in midair, take a picture of it, and then it's easier to edit out a black glove than a bright white hand. Plus, I got a little eczema on my hand, and I don't like the way it looks, so I wear the gloves for your sake, so you don't have to have the nauseating experience of seeing the eczema. How about that? So we'll just untab this little platform here, and we'll rotate these legs out to the side, and then we'll rotate this down and rotate it around back and flip this up. You know you're on the right track if this little corner that exists, see, like this tread is rounded all the way around, and this tread has kind of a corner, and that's what goes on front, and then the foot situates there. And then you can turn. In the instructions, they tell you to like turn his hands upside down, and I don't see how it matters. So I don't turn his hand upside down. Ooh, I get to use one of my spludgers, because you can't get his damned head out of here without using a spludger. So you kind of pack this up like that. Turns into kind of a backpack. But this slides out and then folds down just a little bit. And there's not enough room to get his head. And one time I pried his head wrong and his face came off, which, you know, isn't exactly getting his head out. So let's select our hook spludger. Very nice. Let's see if we can get under that and not rip his face off. But it's a pain in the ass because you need something to pull his head out, because you're not going to pull it out. I think one time I managed to finagle it out by like rubbing my finger on the ball. But so there's that guy, whatever his name is, Sparky the chair. So there you have it. Then there's this big doofus, whatever his name is. He's pretty transparently a robot because you can see his fists in vehicle mode. He's got a big chunky vehicle mode. So to transform him, not too complicated, we flip out his toe and his foot. And then we can snap this onto the back of the tread. And then the whole tread kind of shifts forward. There's kind of a double hinge there. But you want it to look like that. Defaced the ultimate insult. Yeah. I see what you did there. So there's his feet. He's ready to stand up now. And then you take his arms and untab them. And I don't know. I think this is the right direction to put them in, but we'll find out. And then you flip this up. I'm just going to keep them out to the side for a minute. And then you do this part. Now, there's a little hinge here, and it's very stiff. And this thing is supposed to be kind of a parts former. He's supposed to come apart into parts to form the combine mode. So this part comes off. This hinge is so stiff that where the instructions say, oh, just fold it down. Just fold it down on that hinge. It doesn't work. It's easier to take the damn thing off. But it's a very stiff hinge. But now with this out of the way, we can flip his head up, kind of overextend it. And then these treads can go into his chest. And then fold this back up, but only after you adjust these around. They go around the other way. There we go. And this inserts into his chest. And then you can lower his head. And then you rotate these arms and flip them up. So, you know, he transforms some. And then make his fists out. He's got nice little articulated hands, too. And then, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the landmates that they used in the Appleseed manga. But this guy kind of reminds me of that because he's got those, he's got these little Waldo arms. Oh, the whole thing doesn't turn around. It turns around at the mid-thigh. Duh. There we go. But he's got like little miniature arms for whatever reason. I'm sure it makes sense in the comic book or something. But it reminds me of Duna and Mute's landmate from Appleseed. So there you go. That's whatever his name is. And then finally we got this guy. He's got extra arms too for feeding things into his hideous churning maw. You Google the names, man. It's Iron Factory's Heroes of the DEC, which are all representing IDW Comics, the Decepticon Justice Division, the DJD. So, look them up. There's a whole Wikipedia page on the Decepticon Justice Division or at TF Wiki or whatever. So you can learn all about them by going to that page and reading all about them. These guys don't transform much, but they've got a few interesting twists and turns. So this goes like this, and then this comes up like this and rotates around, and then you can tab this in and close that down. And then you can close the arm down and rotate it around 180 to put it more in the center of the arm, towards the inside, towards the center. And turn the fist however you like. And there's that arm. And then we'll do this arm. Stay. And then rotate it around. And then you can untab these little doohickeys on what will be the back of his legs. And then you can extend the leg and retab them so they don't collapse. And then it looks like mid-thigh, so we rotate them around. And then we rotate. I like to make this almost all the way flat. And this comes up, rotates, and then present with his foot. Same thing here. And then this reveals his head. It's not a very clever head reveal, but I guess that's how he looks in the comic book. I don't know. These waist things never like to stay straight, so good luck with that. So there we go. He's got his arms. He can grab bots that they're looking to myrtleize, and trying to find a happy compromise here. But he can grab stuff and shove them into his, All right, so let's see if we can figure out or remember how to turn this into a combined mode. It basically involves taking everybody apart. So this guy kind of forms the hips of the combined mode, so we'll just kind of take these Waldos off. And then this head kind of transforms here, and it untabs. Here's a good juice for a spludger. The head untabs from here. There we go. It just has a little tab that goes into a slot. And then this, if I can remember, I'll put that down for now. This folds up like that. And I suppose you could turn his head around if you wanted to be really thorough about it. Can you? No, it doesn't quite fit. Well, maybe it does. His chin has to kind of go into a notch there. But you can turn the head around if you want to. This you'll notice is similar to this guy's crotch piece. They're the same. So they just kind of get plugged into the combined mode later. And then we'll take this guy's arms off. They go into nice nylon pegs. And then these transform somehow. So let's see if we can remember. Let's see, we get the arm up out of the way. We open up this, and then we bring down this, and that's like that's like the port for combining it. But I'm trying to remember where the arm ends up at that point. I guess it just folds. Maybe it goes in. Sorry. Goes inward and then tabs in and folds. So now it's just out of the way. This is kind of the front of the shoulder of the big combined bot. So we do the same thing with this arm. Bring the port out. There's another shoulder. We'll just set all that aside because it doesn't really start coming together till you have all the bots kind of apart. And then these rotate out to the side. And you separate these like that. And then we want to flip out these tabs and collapse and reapply the tabs. That's the combined mode upper legs, you know. And these ports are important, so we'll make them stick down now. There we go. And then this, I'm not sure. What does this do? I'm trying to remember which way it goes. Maybe, oh yeah, just the toe flips down. So there we go. Combine mode legs. And so this guy's done. We've taken him apart sufficiently. So now we'll take this guy apart. So we'll fold up the hands real good. We're up to 7 viewers. It's amazing. Appreciate all you guys showing up for live streams. Alright. This disconnects. And we open up. The hand goes with it. And then I'll use my spudger. We flip out this hand. It's a bigger, properly 4-fingered hand. And then this hand goes down and goes inside. And then you have to make sure that as you close this, you get this lined up. There we go. And the elbow is the elbow for this guy too, so. Which way is the thumb? Okay. I think that's the inside of the forearm, yeah. He's got some nice, you know, ball-knuckled, articulated hands. That's cool. And we can go ahead and, let's see, pick the right shoulder. Yeah. And we can plug this arm in there. So that's an arm. I do the same thing over here. There you are. Okay, yeah, some of you guys are in Europe, so maybe 5 p.m. is great for you guys. All right. And then there was another shoulder somewhere. Here we go. There we go. Now we got 2 arms ready. Just splay the hands out. They don't have too much to do. All right. Now we'll move on to the next bit. This part comes off. This blue guy really comes apart. But this comes off and this lifts up somehow. There we go. So that lifts up and this stands up like that. Oh, and then you have to make sure that this one goes down like that, because that's kind of part of the leg. We'll get to it though. We'll do the same thing to this one. All right. So that's a piece of the leg. Moving on to the next piece. I like to take these kneecaps off. The instructions don't mention taking them off, but I'll make it clear later why we do. And then these legs pop off of the hip assembly. And there's like a whole rigmarole we do here. It's basically like this. It'll make more sense in a minute. So we do the same thing with this one. something like that. Alright, so now we've got another piece done. We're prepped. This unpegs from back here. And we have this piece and this piece. And these two pieces. Confused yet? And then this bit, of course this comes off and this is going to be used. We can go ahead and unfold these. It's going to be part of the chest. This unpegs, and like I said, it's similar to its little companion over there. These two are like missile pods, just two different colors. And then you flip out this bit and this bit. It just gives us the clearance we need to unpeg, not those, the whole thing. And then I don't remember exactly which way this goes, but I know the arm has to kind of fold up. I think it might be that direction. We'll focus on that later when I have something to compare it to. All right, and then this one we unpeg, and then we can put his head away and put the treads back away, if I remember correctly. This ends up just being like a butt flap, but anyway, so we've taken that poor bastard apart pretty thoroughly. Let's talk about the statue. It has a few pieces. This part plugs in like this. You see that? And these two feet tab together, and they kind of switch sides to become the big robot feet. And this, you untab and unfold that, and then this can untab from the back. And this is like a gun part. You can turn the electric chair guy into a kind of a gun. Not a great gun, but a gun. And then this chest piece, it comes off, but it's being a pain in the ass. Where my pry tool at, son? There we go. So this serves a purpose later too. And now, oh, and then we flip this down. Now this is ready. So let's start constructing them out of all these pieces. Well, if I'm just going to make it go really fast at the end, I may as well transform this guy first. So you can take his little guns off. They'll be used in a little bit. This piece you can attach to him when he's in his combined mode, but it's not worth the trouble, mostly. And now I've got to remember how this guy's combined mode goes. I took a picture of it the other day. Let me just pull up my picture and make a quick check. Camera. Yes. And then I go to my photos. And then there we go. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So the arms go out and the treads come down. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Really. And he ends up upside down. So there's that. There's his arm sticking out. And then the legs fold at the hips. The feet straighten, and this folds down like this. And then I think, yeah, the arms tab in there. There's a peg on the forearms that actually works in his vehicle mode too, but and then this is where you can jam the other piece if you want to. Whatever, doesn't matter. All right, so that's kind of how he is. Everything, and like this little face mask comes off. I'm a little scared to take it off. All right, well here we go. So there's his completely out of focus face. I give up. But the little face mask can tab on there. See, now this is what I worried about, because it's hard to get that little tab lined up. Oh, you suck. Especially with the head constantly moving. That's fun. There we go. So anyway, that's combine. He doesn't really contribute much to the combiner, but you know, I guess the rest of the team wanted him to feel like he was involved, so they were like, well. Oh, you got your SS Scrapper? Yeah, Hasbro Pulse told me that they're going to be shipping it soon, so I guess I'll have one soon too as well. Alright, so this... Am I wrong? I was wrong. This plugs in here. This bit, it lays down like that, so it's just 90 degrees. So now we're on our way. Now it's just a matter of time. Alright, so let's deal with one of the feet. And I don't want the screw sticking to the outside, so we'll take this foot and put it in. And the reason I took the kneecap off is it leaves you a little more space, especially when you're disassembling it. But you're trying to get that hole there occupied by this peg here. And with the kneecap missing, you got a little extra space to get it to line up. That's like that, and that ends up turning, his elbow turns into the ankle joint, which is kind of cool. And then you can take this piece and you can slip it back in there. So that's one lower leg. Let me grab the other one. Do the same thing. Put on the kneecap. So there's the other lower leg. Just to touch on it, this piece that came off of the statue just kind of covers up his head here, so it's not so obvious. The next piece of the leg is this piece, and it plugs in like this, and then this tabs in there. So we can do the same thing with this one. Plug it in, tab it. These pieces actually go onto the feet as decoration, or to kind of complete the feet. So this one goes on this side, and this one goes on this side. There we go. And then you can take this guy and plug him into the lower legs. Go ahead and make that a wide stance. And then these go on the shins. There we go, like that. And then this piece, I guess you can kind of lower this tab, but this piece just plugs in here to complete his chest. And then, oh, these weird arm things. Let's see if we can remember how these go. Because they go onto the legs here. Like that? I took a picture of that too. Hold on. Yep, that's it. So they just hide that part of the leg. There we go. All right. And then we can take Tarn. And his treads have these pegs, and they're going to end up in these peg holes here. So we're just going to pop them in like a little brick, and then just make sure those pegs engage. And that's it. He just kind of hangs out on the back. He is the backpack. This piece of the blue guy can plug in here, so at least it goes somewhere. And then we can take the arm and attach it here, and the other arm and attach it here. And there he is, all combined up. which is, I suppose, how I'll display them. Oh, and because Tarn has those sort of guns sticking up over his shoulder, you can take Tarn's guns and how do they go? Oh, you fold them and then you put them like that. And then you have like the angled thingamajig sticking up. So he's still kind of Tarn looking. And he's got his own face too. He's got kind of a cool little face there. But you can put the... I guess Tarn's like this fanatic who's like very pro Decepticon, so he wears a face mask that looks like the Decepticon face mask. Oh, and you can strap these Waldos on his back if you want to. Let's see, we can try to turn this guy into his gun mode. It's kind of like a Predaking gun where it's supposed to kind of strap onto the forearm. But it goes something like this. Here we go. And then this rotates at the mid-thigh and folds over. This folds up and this rotates this way. Yeah, okay. So it goes like this. Alright, and then same thing on this one. I don't know why the feet fold up like that. It doesn't seem helpful or purposeful at all. But now with this set, you can line him up for the gun. So we grab some tabs inside the gun there with his hands, if we turn this the right way. And then we close down this part next. And it actually gives some place for the legs to tab in, but I'm not gonna spend 5 minutes fucking with it. So, and then this part folds down here in tabs. And so now he's got kind of a gun, like a Predaking gun. And of course the other guy can turn into a gun, naturally. So I guess I'll turn him back into a gun, whatever. I guess. Whatevs. Turn this into a gun. Turn these inward. Tab them. And then bring the whole assembly through here. Put his head away. You gotta turn the fists. Let's see here. Because this turns around 180 degrees, and then the fist has to be able to grab that handle. Grab the handle. We turn this around 180 degrees and turn the handle down and turn the fist to grab it, and then we grab it. And then these come up and they get arranged like this. There we go. And then the rest of this can come up. That's like the scope, and you rotate at the, careful that ball doesn't rotate, but rotate at the top of the thigh, 180, rotate at the knee, 180, and then you should find the whole thing can come together and tab together, and now it's like a gun. You can put this on as the muzzle, and then you can have him hold it, which I suppose I will do, since I'm going to display them all together like this. But there's like a little slot in the hand there that this can tab into, so it's secure. Fold the hand down around it. Whatevs. There we go. And then I suppose if I'm not going to be losing pieces, I should, well, I've got a whole bag for spare parts. And if you really got to use these two pods, they plug into the back here. If you gotta include them. They don't serve much of a purpose, but I guess they're a little bit like Sigourney Weaver's character in Galaxy Quest. It's a stupid job. There you go. The Heroes of the DEC, or the Spirits of the DEC, by Iron Factory, an excellent Legend class figure manufactory. Okay. Let's see. Lockdown is worth it. Bigfoot. Well, because people don't like my live streams, apparently. Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Someone asked why I had like 4K subscribers, but only 8 people watching. Because I got my hardcore fans, man. It's too late for me. Tarn is so tiny. Studio Series Lockdown worth getting. Studio Series Lockdown. Yeah, it's backpacky. I mean, if you want a lockdown, then get a Peru Kill or one of the knockoffs of Peru Kill. That's a figure. That's something to have. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Studio Series figures have backpacks. And they're shell formers, and they put the shell on the back. And it's just the way it is. If you want something elegant, you got to go with Peru Kill. Unique Toys Peru Kill, or there was at least one company that was doing knockoffs of Peru Kill. I think someone even did like an oversized knockoff of Peru Kill, but you might be able to get them cheaper through one of the knockoffs. Do I have any Megatron Studio Series? Yeah, I got all the Studio Series. You have the leader, you have the hips of Devastator? Because I didn't know that was out yet. I'm going to be having the arms soon, and then the only thing left is for me to get the hips. So I suppose I'll have to get off my ass and do a video for Scavenger, the guy with the 2 big wheels, and Mixmaster. I got him, so I got to do him. And I'll have to do Scrapper when he comes in the next week or so. And I guess I got to get moving on the Studio Series before the hips show up, and I got to combine them all together. You're trying to get Unique Toys Dragoon. That's a great figure, man. That is handsome. It is one of the more expensive ones. I mean, if you want that Unique Toys experience, still Peru Kill, not quite as expensive, and especially in the KO form, and just an amazing, elegant figure. You know, it turns into that robot, and you don't see any sign of the car anymore. You're like, there was a car. You turn it around back, and it has a back. It doesn't have a bunch of shit on the back. BSL Toys is the KO. Thank you, All Hail Transformers. Very helpful. BSL Toys. Nice. But not Black Mamba. That's different. No, I only need Overload. Nice. So, you're almost there, like me. That's it, man. I answered that guy's question about how to get this to line up. The short answer is you don't. And I did the Spirits of the DEC. So now I can just finally get some sleep and stop worrying about that. Fun story today. I was rushing down. I went to go down to my basement steps, and I was wearing my socks because it's work at home, so you just don't really take your pajamas off. And I hit the top step, and my foot slipped me, and then I ended up taking the other 8 steps like it was a slide at the park. But fortunately, I didn't hurt myself. I didn't really even bruise myself or anything. So I guess I know how to fall down a set of stairs. That's for sure. My poor wife heard the ruckus, and she came running out of her teleconference to see if I was still alive. God bless her. Really? RLC says, this is my favorite YouTube channel that has Transformers on it. That's awesome. I'm glad to be someone's favorite. Yeah, he is like a big Tarn when you're done with him. He's very, very much an homage to Tarn. Get some light on that head. Pretty cool head. Pretty cool. I suppose I could turn on autofocus, but I think autofocus fucks up a lot. You're seeing my hand. In fact, I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to take the gloves off. So you're going to see my hideous, deformed hands. All right. Woof, we got up to 9 viewers. There was like a 9th viewer that showed up. Missed the whole stream, showed up at the last second. Ugh. Gross. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that's all I have to say. I gave you 50 minutes on this Tarn dude. Tarnation. I thought about doing them as a stop motion video, but there's just, it's too much parts forming. I mean, I can levitate stuff in midair, but to really do them justice, I'd have to figure out how to levitate like a bunch of stuff in midair simultaneously, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not. So I suppose this Sunday you can expect Scavenger. Whatever his name is, the guy with the 2 wheels. Unless I also have Transform Element Bumblebee is on the way from the Bumblebee movie. I think that one looked better than the Zeta one. Just my own personal opinion. And also, for those of you familiar with Unique Toys Dragoon, that character, that Megatron from The Last Knight, there's a company that made like a crazy little Megatron. It's like it's a Megatron with like a little body and a big giant head. And yet it still turns into that jet. And I thought that was fun. So I ordered that. So that and that Transform Element B should be here almost simultaneously. So chances are I'll get Scavenger this weekend. And then I'll probably have those for the next couple of weeks after that. And then I'll get around to doing Mixmaster. And then I'll get around to doing Scrapper. And then I'll just be waiting for Overload whenever that comes out. And in the meantime, maybe I'll get more stuff. I mean, Toy World's Bumblebee movie, their version of Bumblebee Optimus Prime, is on the cusp of coming out. So if that ships in the next week, then it's only like 3 weeks before I get it. See you later, all hail Transformers. Everyone have a nice day. Will I ever do a face reveal? I don't know. That seems really important to some people. But it's just my dumb face. I'm focused on the... I'm shy about doing a hand reveal, so... You could probably find me on social media, and you would probably find a picture of my face. So you figure it out. Yeah, I show up on my own Instagram occasionally. You just have to swipe through it for a long time. Because I don't take pictures of myself very often. I take pictures of robots for the most part. But occasionally you'll get pictures of my cat. Here. I'll do a quick review of my Instagram. It's instagram.com/PLSDrew, which is the same as my YouTube channel. Isn't that handy? Let's see here. So here's a picture of a robot and 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 a robot. Robot. It's robot. And then I'm back to Dragoon now. Robot. See, here's a picture of my package when Dragoon arrived. So that's my living room. Enjoy that little preview. Robot. Here's a yummy meal that I had that I took a picture of for no good reason. Those aren't real waffles. They're like low carb waffles. Here's a nice little burger dinner I took a picture of. Robot. Here's a tree at a parking lot at Walmart that I thought kind of looked cool, but the picture didn't come out the way I wanted it to. But it was okay. I'll find you a picture of my face eventually. I'm sure I've taken a picture of myself sometime. It's mostly robots, though. It's like 99% pictures of robots. Usually I take pictures of... Oh, look. Here's this guy. mostly I take pictures of robots on my Instagram. But it is my Instagram, so I take pictures of other stuff occasionally. Here's my kid standing next to a bumblebee at TFCon in Washington, in like near Washington D.C. We went to that last year. You know, when people were allowed to go places. And more Spirits of the DEC pictures. Someone asked a comparison of how tall Azalea was, so I took a picture against the yardstick I used to measure how far away my camera is from the how far away my tripod is from the shooting stage. I know there's a picture of me somewhere here. Here's my 2 cats sitting on my lap. They're good cats. There's a lot of pictures of the cats when it's not pictures of Transformers. So it's like 99% Transformers, and then the other, of that 1%, 99% of those are going to be pictures of cats. And then somewhere buried in this, and occasionally there's a picture of like a robin that was sitting on my front railing for no good reason. Like it was a juvenile robin and it was just sitting there. You had transformation sequence of the cats, right? Jeez. Oof. There are a lot of pictures of robots. I got back to when I originally got the DEC. Triptychon. Here's a video I took when my wife and I went on a little adventure in our Shenandoah Valley from a lookout. So that's a real pretty view. Oh my god. I despair of finding a picture of myself at this point because there's just a lot of pictures of robots. It's just robots and robots and robots. But if you go to any of the forums on Facebook, I'll post my videos to those forums, like third-party Transformer collectors and Transformers pics and vids, and you can discover me there to some extent. Boy, I never take a picture of myself. I am not into selfies. Here's a picture of a camel at a Christmas parade. So that happened. Sorry, I was just focusing on scrolling through pictures. Guess what they're mostly pictures of? Transformers. Well, here's a picture of a wicked cool spider I rescued at work and took outside. It's a wolf spider. I like spiders. I don't kill spiders. I rescue spiders. Most of the time I see a spider in my house, I just leave that spider the hell alone because I don't care and he don't care. Spiders are not trying to crawl on you. They want to be left the hell alone, and I am okay with that. Heck, one time I came out and I started heading towards the bathroom, and I saw like a really big menacing wolf spider, and he scuttled under the closet door, and I said, okay, that's fine. You can live there. I don't care. So I don't kill spiders. There's the younger cat looking up at me. She's very cute. She's a good cat. Still haven't found any other pictures of anything else, though. It's mostly robots and occasionally cats. Here's a picture comparing my current turntable with my previous turntable that was smaller. It is, if you were curious, a giant piece of marble that I ordered from a place that will send you marble. Now, they also engrave the marble, like they can put a picture on the marble, but I don't want a picture on the marble. I just ordered a blank piece of marble. Because I like the turntable to be heavy, and I like it to be black. But like, here's how small the old turntable was when I was shooting those guys. And I briefly used a square of marble, which just ended up under the other one, just to make the whole thing heavier. It helps to have it be heavy. You only have faux show spiders. Faux show. Is that faux show? I don't know what a faux show spider is. I'd have to Google that. Well, here you go. Face reveal. Everyone ready? That's me sitting with my cats. It's not in focus, and that's just the way it's going to have to be. That's me sitting with my cats. Chilling out. Chilling out on the best sofa. And I have a dog there too. So it's a dog and 2 cats. And they were all hanging out peaceably, and I said to my wife, here, take my camera and take a picture of that. So there you go. I sure do take a lot of pictures of robots. Here's when the little cat would go through the little cat thing in the cat tree, and it was fun. That was when she was a lot smaller. She was a little dink. But it's all right there on my Instagram for you to peruse at your leisure. However you like. Just be prepared to look at lots and lots and lots of pictures of robots, because that is mostly what we're dealing with here. Here for your edification is Peru Kill. That's a good figure. Yes, France is safe. France is like the opposite of Australia then. Australia's got, like, everything can kill you. Everything's trying to kill you in Australia. France, not so much. I'm told that the pizza will be done soon, so I better get ready. I better get ready to have some pizza. So here's some interesting smokestacks I saw. We went on a trip a couple of years ago all the way down to Tennessee so that we could get in the path of totality for the solar eclipse that happened. And here's a picture earlier that day of the solar eclipse. It's not a great picture, but I was physically there and it happened. So we went down the day before. Here's a couple of other pictures. Here's a picture I tried to take of the first nip out of the sun. It is hard to take a picture of that. Here's a picture of when we arrived in Tennessee. Here's a short video I took of a slug because I thought it was cool. Slugs are related to octopuses. Did you know? They are all mollusks. I don't know if you have them where you live, but you know those little pill bugs, those roly-polies that roll up into a ball? Those are related to lobsters. So there you go. Here's some pictures I took when I cut off a segment of the spring for Trypticon because the leg is too tight. And then it became a little bit too loose, and I just had to live with that. I just had to live with it. Anyway, it's all there on Instagram. Every Sunday when I finish shooting, I take a picture of the figure I just shot, so it's like a little preview of what you're about to get that day. And that's it. I'm going to have to sign off because it is dinner time. Thanks for joining me. Everyone have a good day. Shelter in place and whatever. Be safe, everybody. Be safe. And that is it. Good night.